So good morning everybody. 13th of July, 31 weeks left to the Delirious West 200 miler. How this week's trainings went, anybody that watched last week would know I had a cold, bad cough, chesty, just feeling like shit. It's been busy at work, so this week hasn't went any better. Pretty much for the last 10 days I haven't run. My cough is calmed down a bit. I do feel more normal now. I got off work late Thursday evening, so I had yesterday spent on the couch with my lovely wife Louise, who's recovering from a bit of an operation she went through. So today felt like the right day to get back into it. Today's going to be an easy day, pretty much an hour run. I've went along the coast here, you can see, up at Jindalee. Kind of two reasons for that is one, because I haven't run for a while and I suppose I'm lacking a little bit of motivation. Also trying to get over the cold and that. It's just been time off, so I'm hoping the nice scenery gives me that little bit of motivation. Gets me onto the sand as well for the Delirious West. Gets used to running on the sand and the trails. So that's my thinking behind that. But this week I want to take a step back and talk about whenever illness strikes. It's kind of relevant for myself, obviously, for the last 10 days, and just how that kind of has a knock-on effect into the training and what I probably could have done to prevent it, looking back with hindsight. So look, hopefully he's gained a little bit of an insight and might prevent you from doing it. Look, I'll go back to what I said earlier. It's 31 weeks to the Delirious West, so I have lots of time to build up and go through the steps again. So I'm not concerned about losing this time. It is hard whenever I look at the training peaks and that, and I've seen my fitness level drop from 168 down to, I don't know, 116, whatever it was this morning whenever I really looked at it again. But I know I've got time to build that fitness up. I know that the break the break has done me good from a mental point of view. I definitely have felt with work and just my running that I was pushing the boundaries to the limit after the Ducks Nuts. I knew that it was very run down. I knew it was a mixture of the cold coming on between the Ducks Nuts. I knew that was coming on because I was busy at work, working long hours, not getting enough sleep, trying to train at the same time, getting up at 2:30 in the morning to train and trying to work on 6 hours sleep. So all them things have led me to the point where, you know, I get out from that kind of 3-week stint at work, pushing, you know, every day and trying to train. I go and do the Ducks Nuts, where have a good race on the 18k was 18k, so it was okay. The Saturday I felt really good doing the 103k, but on the Sunday it just all came tumbling down. I knew that the cold had fully kicked in at that stage. I pushed on. I was happy I did. I finished the race and was really enjoyed the experience, but then I knew as soon as that race was over that I had to kind of ease off and recover. I would say the illness at that stage was kind of at high dough. Whenever I'd planned to do the Ducks Nuts, it was a case of do it as part of my training, take a few days off to recover and then slowly build up training again. Now that hasn't worked out because I've been sick for the last 10 days and just not fit to do it. I did go back to work on the Thursday, back into working the long hours and the long days. Still very busy at work, so I just knew it was the right time to cut it and have a total break. And look, I suppose in reflection to that, Myself and probably quite a few people watching this video we're mere mortals. We're trying to juggle life in terms of work, family, running. You know, the fact that we're planning to run over 200 miles, 218 miles is crazy enough in itself. It's a long process. Most of us will be training for quite a while, I hope, for such a thing. So there's going to be setbacks. There's going to be times when things just don't go right. And anybody that's been watching my videos quite recently, it's probably the last 4 or 5 weeks, I seems to be talking about something that has been a setback, or you know, training not going right, or work being busy and life getting in the way, and that's real. That stuff really happening. It's not that I'm playing it up or making it you know, making it out that it's something that it's not. Sometimes I have really good weeks whenever all my training flows and everything goes right, and other weeks it's just things go wrong. So I suppose what I'm trying to say is it's a long process in training for one of these things. People, you know, might just tune in at the end of a race and think, wow, they've just run that distance, and how do they do it? And you know, that's not possible. But they don't see the steps, and I suppose that was part of the reason I just started this YouTube channel along the way, just to show people that was thinking about it, how many highs and lows there is along the way before you even get to the race itself. And I've definitely been on a low kind of downward thing this last kind of 4 or 5 weeks, and looking back at it, it's easy to see that now, and anybody that's been following along can see that. But I'm hoping kind of hit the bottom now, and with 30 weeks coming up soon, it really is the time where I want to start building up consistency the whole way through. As I say, lose 10 days of training at 30 weeks, not the end of the world. Lose 10 days of training, even for the 200 mile, or lose 10 days of training, you know, towards the last month or so. Still not really going to be the end of the world, because you can count it as thing. You've got all the Ks under your belt. So I suppose it's different if you're trying to win it. For the guys that's out there trying to win it, I'm sure you aren't watching my video anyway to start with, but if you are, you know, and running's your life, and running's what you do every day, then maintaining that so that you're not picking up the illness and not losing that consistency is key. And that's the same for us average people too, that are out there. 10 days off is still 10 days off. Now I suppose I've worked it quite well that it was at the back of that Ducks Nuts, which was the over 100 mile and a lot of elevation in the 3-day period, so I can count it as recovery as well. So it's not the end of the world for me, but just be careful, because there is the real risk of overtraining, which can take a lot more than 10 days to get over. You can get into that cycle of, and look, even today I can still feel the cough, I can still feel the thing, so that's why today's going to be a real easy day. And it's just taking care of yourself is the most important thing. We get caught up in the motion of I have to train, I have to train, I have to work, I have to do all these things, and you're trying to sandwich it all in. But at the end of the day, if we're losing all that fitness, we're as well training a little bit less. We're as well taking care of ourselves, making sure that we're getting some training in is better than no training. So trying to get to the point, I suppose, trying to make sure you don't get to the point of having to take that 10-day period off is a lot, because it's probably them, you know, going back to the Training Peaks method of the fitness and that, which I'm not really convinced I totally buy into in the first place, because it's just numbers at the end of the day. So I know I've lost some fitness, but I'm certainly haven't lost everything I've worked for this last kind of year in the space of 10 days. So it's pretty much a case of now I start to build again. I start to take it easy. I have got the Yabaroo 50k trail in 2 weeks time, I think. Pretty much the next R&R I'm on. Most important things for me this week is spending lots of time with my wife that's recovering from her operation, as I said. Louise, they're off on holidays too, so spend some quality time with the kids as well. It's going to be a case that I'll build it up slowly. I'll try and get psyched up that whenever I go back to work on Thursday, I can consistently get some training in up there. Even no matter how slow it is, I'm still working long hours, 14-hour days. So it's really hard to get work or to get training in up there at the minute. But even if it's only half an hour a day, that's still better than nothing, going back to my previous comment. So look, I suppose use this video as a little warning, just as a kind of warning that not to be overdoing it, not to be pushing it. And that's the same for regardless of what you're training for. That's not just a 200 miler. If you've just started running, exact same principle. Build it up slowly so that you're not breaking down totally. And or if you're training for your first marathon, you know, the last thing you want to be doing is getting sick 8 weeks out from the race, or 6 weeks out from the race, where you're going to miss that vital training period. So just stop, have a little think to yourselves. How is my training going? Am I pushing it too far? Some people might be starting to just, you know, starting to actually train up. There might be a 30-week training program you're doing for the Delirious West. So at this stage you might be thinking, okay, am I in a good position to start building and training on now? So I suppose just use this time as a little stop and think, how am I traveling? How am I feeling about my running? Do I want to be out running? Am I have I set myself up for success in the next few months? I suppose is probably the key thing. And let me know, please. Please leave a comment on the YouTube channel below. Let me know how your training's going. Let me know what races you might be planning on doing over the next couple of weeks. What things you would like to talk about coming up. I know there's still a few more topics that I have to touch on over the next couple of weeks, and I'll be talking about kind of my preparation for the aid stations, coming into the aid stations, how much time I plan to use in the aid stations, so that'll probably come up next week. And leave some topics that you'd like to talk about below as well coming up. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It's really good till it just keeps my numbers up there, so it's relevant. So if people want to find how to run these lovely distances, they can find it. And I hope your training's really going well out there at the minute. I really do. I hope you're out somewhere gorgeous like this today, or have planned to get out somewhere gorgeous in the next couple of days and run, and really enjoying it. So please leave your comments below, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate everybody watching, and until the next time, when we're out on the trails and hopefully not stuck in a little room, have a good week. Okay, look after yourselves, and we'll chat soon. Enjoy.